using this like a mic today. Hey guys, it's Cayley. I am back with another what sold from last week video. Sales have been pretty good here. I mean, they're definitely down from what they were in the beginning of the year, but they're still pretty steady between the 5,500 to 6,000 mark as far as item sales go. Definitely much more than that if you include what we are getting to cover the shipping, but we're just focused on item sales and increasing our ASP. So I'll go ahead and dive into what sold on eBay and Poshmark for me, showing you guys a spreadsheet breakdown real quick, and then we'll dive into some of those individual sales and go over why I picked them up in the first place. If you guys like this kind of content, I do what sold videos every single week. I talk about what is selling for me on eBay and Poshmark in case other resellers want to study those same items and look for those items at their thrift store to flip online for a profit. So if you're not already, subscribe down below. I'd be happy to have you on the channel and interact with you guys in the comments. For now, let's dive into this video. Numbers that you see here happen between July 16th through the 22nd. I cannot believe we are almost in August. Actually, I think today, the day I'm filming it, might be the last day of July. So last week was pretty good, pretty average compared to how my last few weeks have been. So these are the numbers. I sold 222 items. On eBay, I sold 115 items. On Poshmark, I sold 107. Same story as pretty much every week. Lower priced, average sale price on Poshmark, higher priced on eBay. And then item gross sales was a little over 5,500. So doing pretty good considering summer slowdown, but definitely looking for that number to bump back up as we move towards back to school. And I know that some of you guys have said you're about to do back to school. We're a little bit later in Ohio. We start school like mid to late August. So looking forward to that. And hopefully those people that are going back to school will start purchasing some things, maybe some teachers purchasing some office wear or things of that nature from my store. And hopefully we'll see sales start to pick back up. So these are the numbers. We are going to dive right in. I'm going to try to do the same thing I did last time, which is not share individual cost of goods. Most of the items that I get are between $5 and $6. However, there are some outliers. And if there are outliers, I'll be sure to tell you. And just a reminder, all of these items came from different places. So some of them are items that I thrifted in my local area. Some of them I purchased from death piles of other resellers. Some people I have sourcing for me. And yeah, I would consider that wholesale. If you hear me say wholesale, it's other people sourcing for me. I have a couple people that I have been sourcing from. One of them is Trash Pandas Wholesale on Instagram. I have another person, but I'm not sure the handle. So I maybe will link that down below if I can find the information for it. But both of those wholesalers mainly focus on style-based vintage stuff. So if you are somebody that is not big into the brands and you're just big into the style and you have a curated closet for vintage, both of those wholesalers would be an excellent option for you. I am not that seller though. I do pick up some style-based stuff, but I have to have a lot of data backing it. So let's dive into these and I'll try and fill in the gaps if there are anything that are kind of an outlier as far as cost of goods go. So this first one is one of my favorite menswear brands to sell. It is John Varvatos. This brand retails for quite a bit. I do think that this brand performs better in the fall and winter time, fall and winter items. Their short sleeve stuff and more plain stuff doesn't seem to do as well in the spring and summer. So I'm looking forward to a time where I can get back to this brand, and some fall and winter stuff have definitely started selling already, which I am super excited about because it's my favorite time of the year. It's when my birthday is. It is my favorite time to source. I just think sourcing is so much easier. So I'm excited to see that season start to come through, and I will be switching my sourcing efforts probably in the next month to tailor it completely to fall items. So I paid only $4 for this jacket. It is a motorcycle jacket And anything John Varvatos substantial, I would definitely get, even if I have to sit on it, because like I said, it retails for a lot and it typically has a lot of followers. I listed this for about $150. It did sell for my full asking price within, I think, about 2 months of getting listed. I aim to get everything sold within 3 months. That is our business model. Obviously, that doesn't happen, and when it doesn't, we have to ask ourselves why and adjust or drop price or out of that, but that is our goal, to sell all the items that we're currently picking up within 3 months. Next up is a very, very quick sale. This is a fantastic shoewear brand to find. It is Limbs. It's kind of unassuming, so if you don't know to look for it, you might pass over it, but it typically says it somewhere on the exterior of the item. This is a pair of Limbs waterproof boulder boots, and these did have like general wear throughout, but were in pretty decent condition. I paid a little over $5 for these, and we listed them for about $100. They sold, I think it was only like days of getting listed. It might have even been the same day, on an offer to watcher that I sent out. I usually send out 15% off offers to watchers on eBay, and it sold very quickly at $84.90, like I said, within just a couple of days. So definitely want to keep your eye out for Limbs. They almost look like, I don't know, like barefoot shoes where they have a very low platform. That's the best way that I can describe them. Next up is something we don't typically get. It is Coogi jeans. Nikki found these. They had some really cool graphics with wings on them. I think Coogi jeans have to be very specific with the embroidery on them. Otherwise, they will just sit. But these ones are pretty cool. We made sure that our cover photo did show the back embroidery. That is important with a lot of menswear jeans. If they're known for big embroideries and this is your cover photo, you're probably not going to sell them. So if you have any like that, maybe go back and just rearrange the photos a little bit so that you're showing the most sellable feature of the item. Another reason I think this sold so quickly is because we included keywords, baggy and Y2K. These are very on trend right now. So we paid $8.99 for these, listed for $64.88. They sold within about a week of getting listed for full asking price. So I was really surprised with that sale, honestly, because in the past we've picked up Coogi jeans back before I knew what I was doing. We would just pick up every pair, and they would sit and sit and sit until they maybe sold for like $15-20. So it's really nice to see this large of a sale sell within this brand within like, a week. So tells me we're doing something right as far as the keywords go. Next up is a brand that is new to me. By the way, I tried to pull a lot of new stuff for you guys this week. I tried not to show the same brands that I always do and show some new stuff to you guys, as well as different factors. And I made sure to include some of my favorite like bread and butters as well that sold last week. So this is a new brand to me. It is OAS. This is called the Cuba shirt, and I don't know much about this brand, but I do know it has a pretty good following and it sells for quite a bit of money. So I would keep your eye out for that label. We actually paid up for this item. We paid $15 from one of our wholesalers. They knew that it was a pretty hot ticket item. And after doing comps, I felt pretty comfortable picking it up at $15 because I knew it was going to sell pretty quickly. We listed it for $64.88, so $65. It sold within, I think, like a week of getting listed for our full asking price. So definitely a good following with this brand, and I would keep your eye out for it. I wanted to share this one because we definitely pass on most Champion items. However, there is a collaboration with Champion that sells really well, and it is Champion in collaboration with Todd Snyder, which is what these are, which in my opinion, they're really hard to tell from the outside, so you really have to look at every single tag, unfortunately, to figure them out. I don't see a difference in quality myself between these and the regular Champion items, so I'm just strictly having to look at tags, basically, is what I'm saying. And they're very easy to pass on. So if you come across any Champion Todd Snyder, definitely wanted to share this with you. So you need to be on the lookout for it because it can be a really good bolo. I picked this up in wholesale as well. We listed it for around $50. They're just a pair of sweat shorts, and they did have they had a small stain on the front, which we made sure to note. Even with the fall, we ended up listing them for around $50. They sold for our full asking price. And I don't remember how long they took to sell, but it was definitely within 3 months. Next up is something that did not sell within 3 months, and I thought I would talk about it. So it is a pair of Juicy Couture 100% cashmere pants. I got these because, first of all, pretty much any pair of 100% cashmere or cashmere blend pants that I find, I pick up. They perform really well for me. It's kind of a niche, like, factor stacking category that just performs really well for me, are like merino wool and cashmere pants, and just about any brand I always look up. But Juicy Couture is very popular right now because they're very Y2K, and these pants are very Y2K. So I knew that they'd probably go quickly. I did do some research on them. There wasn't a whole lot to go off of, so I kind of had to make up a price. I priced much higher than this. I think I originally priced them at like $85, $75, and they did not sell. Is that because I priced too high? Is it because, it's cashmere and I listed it in the wrong season and people just aren't wearing cashmere right now? Or is it a combination of all? I personally think it's a combination of all. I could have just kept my price the same and waited till fall and winter to get the most out of this item. But I do the same thing. It's just easier for me to treat all of my items the same way. So this got price dropped because it did not sell within 3 months, and it ended up coming down to $53.93. And then I sent out offers to watchers. It sold for $45.84, and I only paid $5 for it. So it ended up still being a fantastic sale, but definitely a category I would look for are like knitwear pants, particularly like merino wools and cashmeres. Especially as you move into fall and winter, you're going to be able to get a lot more than what I was able to get. But still, even in summer, that's selling really well. So I thought I would share that with you. And then if you do have anything Juicy Couture, I would definitely consider, if it fits your item, to put Y2K in it, because it'll definitely help to sell the item. All right, next up is another kind of Y2K item that is performing really well. They are the vintage Levi's silver tab jeans, especially in the loose fit. So anything baggy or loose fit in Levi's right now is performing really well. Again, that just goes with that Y2K trend where people are dressing like they're from the 90s and 2000s. I personally love this trend because I grew up in that era, so I feel pretty confident in the Y2K trends and feel good about it. So this is a definite bolo right now. I would say even as you move into fall, people are going to be picking this up. And if you're not, looking for them, they're pretty easy to pass on. So this one did have quite a bit of flaws. The back patch was destroyed. There was a spot in the leg. There's a small hole. Lots going with it. I paid $5. We listed it for $45. It did sell very quickly for our full asking price, even with those flaws. So super happy with that. Next up is an item that I believe I actually did a closet buyout with somebody. So I'm not sure if they want their information shared, but shout out to you. I really appreciate that buyout. And I found some fantastic items from someone who reached out to me and offered to allow us to buy out their Poshmark closet. So we only got not the whole closet, but some of the items. And this was one of those items. There were actually several Ibex women's wool vests, which I was really happy with. We paid $7.50 for each item, and this we listed for around $50. It sold on an offer to Watcher for $42.40. Very, very quickly. Again, this is a wool vest, so as you can see, some of the winter fall pieces are already starting to sell. This is definitely a fantastic brand to be on the lookout for, particularly in the fall winter category. Their wool stuff performs really well. yeah, just a plain women's wool vest, and sold really quickly, hoping the other ones will start selling as well. Next up is another John Varvatos item. I just wanted to, for the sake of redundancy and retaining information, share another item that sold from this brand. This is John Varvatos. Again, it's more of like a fallish type item. It is a silk blend sweater. Good transition piece because even though it is a sweater, it is a lighter material. We got this from wholesale as well. I paid $50, or I didn't pay $50. I paid between $5 and $6, and we listed for $50. This sold for our full asking price within 3 months. Next up is a pair of shoes that I believe Jordan actually found, and a new brand to me as far as shoes go, so I wanted to share these with you. It is Kuru, Kuru. And this brand, I say it about a lot of brands, but I feel like I would pass on this brand just looking at it had I not known. This did have some wear throughout, but this has a fantastic sell-through rate and following. They remind me kind of like Olukai in the sense that they have a following, but you can still get a pretty significant amount of money out of it, even if there are some flaws. So I really enjoyed learning about this brand. She actually got 2 of these shoes, and they have both sold, but this is the one I'm showing you within this week. So these are called the Chicane trail hiking shoes. They do make kind of outdoorsy hiking shoes. A very specific look to them, in my opinion. They almost look like those, they have like the silhouette of those kangaroo shoes almost. But yeah, I thought I would share that with you. I paid $4.49 it looks like for these, and we listed for $40. I would have definitely listed a little bit higher had the wear not been there, but dropped the price because of that, and it sold for our full asking price, and it sold very quickly. Next up is a category I've been talking about a lot, which is the blazers category in both men's and women's. I've also talked about this brand a lot, but just wanted to reiterate it. This is J. Crew. And this is actually J. Crew Factory, and someone, I just read a comment yesterday and responded to it where one of you guys asked me, you know, are you able to sell the J. Crew outlet blazers too? And the answer was yes. So here is an example. This is a J. Crew Factory or outlet, whatever you want to call it, blazer. It is a size 14 and it is linen, so good factor stacking on that end. I actually paid $7.99 for this. I feel pretty comfortable with it, and we listed it for around $40. It sold for our full asking price really quickly. So yes, I still have pretty good luck selling the outlet ones as well. What I will say, if you're out at a thrift store and you're trying to determine, do I pick up any of these blazers or not in the J. Crew brand, there is a very simple, I think it's like 4 or 5 digits. Yeah, right here. This number right here, this 37358, so 5 digits, super easy to look up. J. Crew's really, really easy to look up style for. So if you type in, you open up a new tab, go to Google, type in J. Crew, and then that 5-digit string of numbers and hit enter, go to Google Images, you'll really easily find out the style name. This one was we just listed it as is because it was linen, but you can pretty quickly find a possible style name and all the info about it, and then do your comp that way, and you'll know whether you should pick it up or not. Next one is a pretty cool sale, at least I think it is. I love selling Y2K and vintage t-shirts. This one I priced up too high in the beginning and then was accepting offers, have since dropped the price, so it definitely took longer than 90 days, which normally vintage t-shirts do, especially if you're asking a lot for them. I paid only $4.89 for these, and this is a vintage 2003 Lord of the Rings Gollum t-shirt. Here's the tag, and on the back of the tag was the dating. But I thought it was really cool, just a plain back, but really popular graphic. I can't remember what I originally listed it for. I feel like I listed it for like $65, maybe somewhere around there. Long story short, we dropped the price, ended up turning on offers so we could get it to sell. Got an offer for $38 and accepted that offer. And even with dropping the price and all of that and getting it to where it needed to be price-wise, it still sold for good money. So a t-shirt for $38 pre-owned, you cannot beat that. Next up is something that's surprisingly been kind of like a bolo for me, which is J.Jill large plus size items. They sell really quickly and sometimes for a lot of money. So this one is a J.Jill 4X tiered long sleeve dress. And it sold very quickly. We got this in wholesale. It was missing its size tag, so we determined sizing based on measurements and compared them to J.Jill website's size chart. It sold very quickly at our full asking price of $40. So a lot of people are passing on J.Jill because it's bread and butter, but there are like 3X and 4X items, sell super fast and for a lot of money. So I kind of consider them a bolo, and I'm really happy with this sale. Next up is a brand that I have been purchasing, knowing that I'm probably going to sit on it for a little bit, but that I'll probably end up with pretty good money. It is Rails. If you go onto the Rails website, their website retails for a lot of money, and their more recent styles seem to be the ones that sell the best. But in general, I'm finding that this brand performs really well. But again, I am having to be willing to sit on it. I listed this for around $45. It did sell pretty quickly actually on an offer to watcher for $38.15. So happy with the price of this Rails dress, especially because it was a knee length. It wasn't midi or maxi and still sold pretty well. All right, this next one is a definite bolo brand. I cannot find a lot of information about this on eBay or Poshmark, but I could tell that there was a really good sell-through rate based on what I did see. So the brand is Lulu B, and I don't know if all of their clothing is like this, but the two dresses that I found were both UPF. I could tell it had that nylon feel material, and very popular fabric right now, UPF nylon stuff in just about any brand. So I'm looking it all up. I looked at that tag and I thought, that kind of looks boutique-y, but I'm going to look it up anyways just because of the fabric and the fact that it is a multicolor maxi dress. And I'm glad that I did, because I picked up both of these dresses for around $5, and they both sold this like the same week we got them listed. I've got the other one in the Poshmark sales that I'll show you. And yeah, very excellent brand. I would definitely recommend keeping your eye out for it, and just UPF stuff in general. So I listed this for $40. It sold almost immediately for my full asking price. So I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for Lulu B. This one is a newer brand to me. It is Wellen. I'm not super familiar with this brand. I wanted to share it with you guys. We got these new with tags, and they are a pair of swim trunks. I feel like I don't come across this brand very often in my area, but you guys might, depending on where you live. It seems to be a pretty good brand, especially if, they're new with tags. So we listed this for around $40. It sold for our full asking price, and really quickly as well. Swimming trunks and swimwear in general, I'm going to start slowing down on, but I'm still happy to see that they are still selling. All right, next up, I've got to give props to one of my wholesalers, which is Trash Pandas Wholesale. She has an incredible eye for trending styles and aesthetics, because some of the brands she gets are not brands that I would typically get, but she picks them up for their specific style or aesthetic, and she just really has her thumb on what is trending. And I've been taking some chances here and there on some of the more style-based stuff she's gotten, and pleasantly surprised at how quickly it has been selling. So this would be one of those pieces. I don't pick up a lot of Zara. To me, think it's more of a fast fashion brand at this point. And most of their pieces don't sell, but there are a couple of blogger favorite pieces. that do sell, and she's able to find what feels like all of them. So she grabbed this one. This is a caftan dress. I picked it up because I thought it was pretty and it was midi link. After I did some more research, it was in fact a blogger fave, and this particular style sells really well. So I thought I would share this with you guys. Not all brands are created equal, and not all styles within those brands are created equal. So I got this in wholesale, like I said. We listed it for $40. It sold very quickly for our full asking price and even had a small flaw. All right, this is a factor I wanted to share with you. I've talked about it before, but it is this Madras plaid, Madras. This is a Ralph Lauren Madras plaid button-up short sleeve t-shirt, size XXL. Anytime I see Madras plaid, I just go ahead and look it up, especially if they're in nicer brands like Ralph Lauren. They're going to perform really well. So I paid $5 for these. We listed it for $45. It sold very quickly on an offer to watcher for around $38, which is amazing for a pre-owned shirt. All right, this brand is not new to me, but I'm newer to picking it up because previously I would just leave this brand behind unless it wore like a plus size. This is Can, and I know a lot of people love Can jeans. The data is not there for them. I came across these, and they are the curvy super flare jeans. They were size 29, which is a decent size, but they were flare. And I thought, you know what, we're going to try them. There's a lot of factor stacking going on. I will give them a try. And to my surprise, they sold extremely quickly, even with a flaw. We paid $7.99 for them, listed them for $35. They sold on an offer to watcher for around $30. I'm so pretty happy with that. Now I'm going to be on the lookout for Can jeans in the future, but I think I'm only going to stick to the flare style for now. If you guys have really good luck selling Can jeans, drop your tips down below because I'm still figuring it out. This is a men's brand of jeans that performs really well. It is Cinch. This one's definitely unassuming, but they have a really good following. Not going to sell for a ton, but sell for decent money. So Cinch, these are the Carter style jeans. We picked them up for $7, listed them for $35. They sold on an offer for around $30. I shared this in the last What Sold video, but I picked up a big haul of Ann Taylor and White House Black Market wrap dresses, all approximately the same size, at this one thrift store. Like someone had donated their collection, it seemed. And I took a chance on them even though the data was not there to support 100% sell-through rate. And I'm glad I did because someone last week's What Sold video purchased a ginormous bundle of most of those dresses. And I still had a few left, and those have since sold. So I am definitely going to start picking up these wrap dresses in these brands from now on because very, very, very quick sales and surprisingly for really good money. So I paid $5.99 for each of these wrap dresses. I have another one to show you later on in the Poshmark sales, but I listed them all for around $35 to $40, and yeah, like I said, they sold within like a week of getting them listed, which is very shocking. So I paid $5.99 for this. It's an Ann Taylor Loft faux wrap dress, size 14. It is just plain black, but it is collared. Not a lot going on here, but sold for really good money. So I thought I would share that with you guys. I listed this one for around $35. It sold for my full asking price. Next up is something I got in wholesale. This again goes back to Trash Pandas Wholesale having just a really good eye on what is trending. This is a vintage bandolino, a brand that I would like never get, but it is a denim midi skirt, which is performing really well. So we got this and listed it for around $30. It did sell very quickly at our full asking price, so really happy with that sale. Next up is a brand that performs very well in plus size, not so much anything below that, but it is a Quaker Factory 3X velvet top. This one we listed for $35. It sold on an offer for $30, an offer to watcher, but definitely a good, in my opinion, bread and butter brand if you get them in plus size. Here's another good plus size bread and butter. This one I could have definitely waited longer and sold it for $35 because this thing was gorgeous. It was this like burnout velvet kimono. Really, really, really pretty. So I priced that up a little bit for $35. Someone sent me a message and said, would you take 25? Even if you're not accepting offers, people will still send you messages about offers, and then there's usually a little button where you can reply to their message, or sometimes underneath of that it'll say reply with offer. So even if you don't have offers turned on, you can use that reply with offer button in order to send them an offer if you want to. So I have this listed for $35. Like I said, I priced it up just because I thought it was really pretty. I could have waited and probably got $35 for it, but they asked for $25. I sent them that offer using that button. They accepted immediately, and I sold this within like days of getting it listed. I don't know. I would rather move items really quickly and reinvest. So I'm not upset by losing that $10 if it means I got to sell it really, really quickly. But Catherine's plus sizes are definitely a good bread and butter brand that you can look for. Next up is more of a style that performs well, not necessarily brand. These are a Hawaiian brand I don't know much about, but this like wide leg tiered login looky pair of pants. Pretty much anything in this style I usually get, just because again login look is really in and it performs well. So these are wide leg kind of flare tiered pants and very on trend, remind me of XCVI. Got these in wholesale. We listed for around $30. They sold very quickly at full asking price, but maybe a style you want to look for. Next up is another bread and butter item that I thought I would share. This is a Talbot's bird print cardigan. I like picking up Talbot's plus size. This is not plus size, but it's very close. I decided to get these anyways by factor stacking because it was a novelty print item. Those tend to perform really well for me. Plus it was a cardigan. This sold extremely quickly to my surprise for our full asking price of around $30. So definitely good bread and butter brand if you know what you're doing. Here's another good bread and butter for us. It is Spanx shapewear, and to be honest, some of the Spanx shapewear, you can only sell for $15. Some of them you can sell for $40. You have to really know what the style is, but in general, the shapewear still performs pretty well for me. Got these in wholesale, listed them for $25. They did have the style name on the back, Slim Cognito mid-thigh shaping shorts. They sold for our full asking price really quickly. This is definitely something I think a lot of people pass on, but shapewear can be valuable. All right, moving on to the Poshmark sales. I picked up these in wholesale. I paid up for them at $15. And I paid up because they are a fantastic brand with a really great following. It is Aviator Nation. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you might pass on these because, to be honest with you, they don't feel super high quality to me personally. A lot of their hoodies feel like any other hoodie, but they sell for like $75. So I wanted to share this brand with you. Aviator Nation, I pretty much pick up in anything. I think we originally listed these for, $75. I got an offer for $59 on Poshmark, and I said, yes, let's move it. So I accepted that offer. This is a brand that performs well for me in larger sizes. This is Clara Sunwoo, size extra large. This brand reminds me kind of like of Chico's or Eileen Fisher in a way where it's a more mature brand. They sometimes have like more artsy stuff, but performs pretty well. Sometimes I will pick up the smaller sizes if I can factor stack, but the ones that move the quickest for me are definitely the larger sizes. So that's why I think this one sold so quickly. I paid just over $4 for this, and it sold on an offer that Posher VA automatically sends out to anyone that likes my items after 5 minutes. And Posher VA sent out an offer of $37, which someone accepted. This is something I found when I was in Michigan, and I believe the cashier. This didn't have a tag on it, a price tag, and I didn't know how much they would charge me, but to be honest, I was willing to pay quite a bit, but they only charged me like $7 for this, for the whole set. So it is a 3-piece Eileen Fisher silk set. They were all a size large, matching pieces, all brown, pants, tank, and a jacket. And I listed this for around $125. I got an offer for $90 and I took it just to move it quickly. That is an amazing return on investment. If you come across any Eileen Fisher sets, I try to keep them together as long as they are all the same size, and they can be a really big bolo. This is the second time I have sold this brand, so I'm trying to keep an eye out for it. It is the shirt by Rochelle Barons, and this one we got sent in wholesale, and it was new with tags, so I lucked out on that. But I have sold this same label in a different shirt pre-owned, and I think it sold for like $40. So I've been taking chances on some things that maybe the data isn't there for and kind of experimenting with it. This would be one of those pieces. I believe that the other one also sold on Poshmark, so it might be more of a Poshmarky kind of brand. Like I said, I got this in wholesale. We listed it for around $50. Got an offer for $39 on Poshmark and accepted. This one is a Chico's item. Chico's tends to be a bread and butter brand for me, but I thought I would share this one because surprisingly the Chico's linen vest actually seemed to perform really well. We actually paid around $10 for this and listed it for around $50. It ended up selling on an offer of $42, and it is an older label as well. So kind of a niche thing within Chico's linen vest. I thought I would share it. And here's another Chico's item just for the sake of redundancy. This is a size 3. It is more of a bread and butter for me. Size 3 it performs really well. It's just a plain t-shirt with some paisley print on it. It sold for $25. I usually can't get more than $25 to $30 for Chico's. This is something that I severely underpriced and I thought I would share it with you. So Bonobos is a great menswear brand that is typically bread and butter for me. Their shirts and their pants usually only go for like $25 to $30, sometimes $20. But their blazers perform extremely well. So this is the Bonobos standard fit jacket, and I don't know if you can tell, but I later learned that this is called an unstructured jacket. And I think I'm not sure, but I think the identifying factor is this seam line down the middle. This one had a specific fabric label in it and style name called the Fairway Jacket by Marlene. I could not find like anything in pre-owned comps on this, which is why I didn't know where to price it. So I had to go off of just the most similar jackets that I could. And I ended up pricing it, I think, for around $75. I accepted an offer that someone sent on Poshmark for $60. I was just happy to move it really quickly. And then the other day, I was looking up the same type of blazer and saw that someone just sold one on eBay within like a day of listing for over $100. So I think I severely underpriced this, but I honestly did not have enough data to price it, and now I do know. Regardless, I still made a ton of money on this, but I thought I would share with you guys that Bonobos blazers are definitely a bolo. And if you do find the Marlene tag or Fairway Jacket tag on the inside, definitely want to price that bad boy a lot higher than what I did. And I noticed a lot of the ones that were selling for over $100 were the unstructured, that word was in the title a lot, blazer. And I think the identifying factor from what I could study was the seam right here. But if you guys know anything about that, drop a comment down below. Those are just my assumptions. But all in all, a pretty good sale. And Bonobos in general, regardless of another tag, I would probably get in the blazer section. This is a newer brand to me, and I thought I would share it with you guys. I don't know how to pronounce it. Livsn, Livsn is the label, and here is the logo. These are like hiking outdoor convertible pants, very unassuming, but they do have good retail value and what appears to be a good sell-through rate. I listed these for around 55 to 60 on Poshmark and accepted an offer of $40 to move them quickly. This is more of a bread and butter for me now. It used to be a bolo. It is a Tommy Bahama 100% silk button-up shirt. I used to be able to get like 40 to 50 bucks for these. I can now normally only get 25 to 30, but they still do sell. They're just more of a bread and butter for me, so I tried to not pay up for them. I only paid $5 for this one. It is a pretty plain blue extra large silk shirt in Tommy Bahama. We listed for around $35 on Posh. Posh or VA sent out an offer and captured that sale at $29. This is a kind of Y2K-ish brand I would definitely be on the lookout for. It is Da Nang, and it's probably really hard to see what this says, but hopefully there is this tag below. Honestly, when I saw this, I thought that it was maybe like one of the cheaper like Chinese brands, like fast fashion brands, but I'm glad I looked it up. I just had a feeling, and this is actually a bolo, so definitely want to keep your eye out for this. It's very military inspired, very Y2K, has a good following with the Y2K community. I originally priced these very, very high, I think around $75. They have sat, but they ended up selling for an offer of $51 on Poshmark. So I learned my lesson on these, maybe price a little lower, but I'm still happy with the $50. Next up is something I believe we got in wholesale. This is called the Coach Archival Crossbody Bag. I wanted to share this with you because this bag, I know you can't tell because we're not zoomed in, but there was so much wear to this bag that for the flaws section, we just put lots of wear just to like cover all bases. There was wear everywhere. We didn't want to take pictures of each individual thing because there wasn't enough room for all of those pictures. So we just put lots of wear. That way, again, we could cover our bases with the buyer and they pretty much knew what they were getting. It is hard to tell in these photos just because the white is kind of blinding and blurring everything out, but definitely there was significant wear throughout the whole item. But we still ended up listing it and reduced the price. This appears to be a pretty popular style within Coach, and we ended up accepting an offer of $50. And I just wanted to share that sale with you because even though there can be flaws on things, sometimes they can still sell and you don't know until you give them a try. So try to avoid flaws at all costs. However, there are some things, if they've got enough value, we'll still attempt to list. This is more of a bread and butter item. This is Built. It is a men's athletic wear line. Again, it's more bread and butter. I can usually only get like 20 to 25 for the t-shirts, but they do sell really well for me. So this is a cloud dye tank. It usually has the style number on it as well. And this one ended up selling for $22 on Poshmark, which I believe was a Posh or VA offer. This I got from that same Poshmark closet buyout, I believe. I paid $7.50. This is a Bowden dress. This is called the Isla Dove Karina dress. It was a size 8, really beautiful multicolor. I ended up listing for around $40 and accepted an offer of $32 on Poshmark. And Bowden tends to be a pretty good, I'm going to call them a bread and butter still, dress brand to sell. Just because some of the styles do not perform very well, but some of them do. This is a definite bolo, and every now and then I like to share these sales, even though we have mentioned it before, just in case anybody doesn't know. But Ralph Lauren has a line called Double R, and this is what the tag looks like if you guys find it. It is an R with a backwards R. It is an absolute bolo. This is a men's chambray button-up shirt. It was kind of Western, so we included those keywords in. Some of these were going for over $100, which is where I listed mine for. I got an offer for $89 and I accepted to get it moving. I'm really happy with that sale. I could have definitely have waited several more months to sell it, but I am not in the storage business, so we're going to move it, but I picked up a few double R Ralph Lauren items, and they always sell very quickly and for good money, so keep your eye out for that if you're not aware. And if you do have something with this label and you didn't realize it was double R, you might want to go back and recomp stuff because you probably priced it wrong. So I want to share that with you guys, and this line is not very common to come across, but I have come across it several times in the last couple of years, so definitely worth looking into. Here's that other Lulu B sale. Again, it is a UPF maxi dress. This one's a black and white kind of chain print looking one. This one sold on a Posher VA offer for $42, which is an automatic offers to watchers that I sent out using Posher VA. Again, keep your eye out for pretty much any UPF item. This is a bread and butter I've shared before, but thought I would share it again. It is the Express Portofino shirt. This one is very common to come across, and they all say Portofino on the label, so really easy to spot. Definitely the larger sizes sell better, or if you have a unique print. This one was just a size extra large. I got this one extra small, not extra large. This one was an extra small. I got this in wholesale as well. It was floral, which I think helped to sell it quickly, and it sold for $21. I can usually only get $20 to $25 for these. And last item is another one of those wrap dresses. This is a White House Black Market size 12 geometric wrap dress. This is not a brand I get hardly ever, but in the wrap dresses I am going to be looking for in the future. I paid $5.99 for this one as well. This is one of the ones I got in that lot, and it sold for $34 on Poshmark. Alright guys, so that's it for what sold last week. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. Again, if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe down below, the notification bell. That way you'll be notified every single time I post these videos. Thank you to the new members who have recently joined my channel, and to the channel members who joined my channel memberships as well. Thank you guys so much for that. If you guys are interested in joining, the join button is down below. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.